Good
Hello and
afternoon.
welcome. This is a little behind the scenes of the All Good Cards Club. So, I'm Karen.
And I'm Holly. And we're
I'm
excited to
Rebecca.
welcome you here. Yeah, we're going to introduce a
And I'm
couple of
Amanda.
new people. I'm just making sure that before you guys introduce yourselves, trying to
Uh-oh, too
refresh
late.
and make sure it's working. Oh, there we go. Now it's coming up. Awesome. I always like to make sure that we're actually live, so we're not just talking to ourselves.
Yes.
Well, I talk to myself a lot.
I think we all do. It's called a
Yes.
staff meeting, right?
There you go. I like that.
So welcome everybody who's joining us here. This is a little impromptu live to give you a behind the scenes of All Good Cards Club. So what is All Good Cards Club? Karen, do you want to give us just a couple sentences on what even is it?
Yes, and this is, by the way, a great place to ask questions if you have questions about it. All Good Cards Club has been around. I didn't even know what year it started. It's something that I had started, and now we're bringing it to a whole new level. Community has always been my heart's desire, and connecting with Holly and working together and just figuring out how we can grow this and be connected, but involve more people. It's really community-based. My belief is, as a community, we are stronger, we are more creative. We all develop that friendship. You can do that online too. And I just think we all win. So one of my goals has always been to be able to give more voice to people too, and to share more things. So I just love that we share. So in the All Good Cards Club, we've added mystery stamping for every week, and that's on Zoom. So you can connect faces. Those that show up for that will be fun. And then we still have our day. Now we are calling it Creativity Camp, but we're still doing what I did in classes. But Holly and I are doing it together, and sometimes we'll have somebody else on there doing it. But I think it's fun because then you get two people's ideas. I've loved that interaction. So when I design things or Holly designs something, then we give it to the other and they have to come up with something. And we can do that with other people. And I just think that's really fun. And then, of course, good conversation. The one other thing we have changed, and Holly can explain that, so that people on YouTube that aren't on Facebook could still be a part of this. That you wouldn't be in the Facebook group, but you still get everything else. Holly, what would you add to that?
Well, I would add the reason we're even talking about this is because right now is a special week to join. So we have the opportunity to open the doors, if you will, to Card Club and invite all of you in to join us. So we really just enjoy creating a crafting family, crafting around the back porch, as Karen likes to say, and just gathering all together. So you can join now for $20, or you can get an annual membership. You get 2 months free if you pay for the annual membership. So it's $200 for that. And oh yeah, Karen mentioned the system difference. I want to talk about that real quick before she shows her card. For those of you who are on Facebook, we have a Facebook group. Everything's posted in the Facebook group. If you're not on Facebook, we also have an option for you where you can access all the videos and replays in a separate login system. So we did that because I know you're all watching this on YouTube. And so we want those of you who are on YouTube, but maybe not on Facebook, to still be able to join us and make all these fun cards and meet new crafting friends and just have a lot of fun. So, Karen, it looks like you want to show a card.
Oh, I was just thinking this. I know some of you did Creative Kickstart with us, which was really fun. And this was one of the cards we did there. And it was to show what we do on our day-long events. We did a deep dive into Z-Fold cards. And what we do is we take a topic each month. And then that's where we go. If you join now, you also get that month's class because it just started right there. If you saw my video today, this is going to be this month's deep dive for October. It is going to be stamping with acrylic blocks, but many, many ideas. And this is just one, so you can see that. So I just wanted to give an idea for that.
That was fun to watch today.
Somebody just commented, Tim's Becky Lynn.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a story here.
There is. He calls her cousin.
He
calls her cousin, and she and her sister Labar, and we've been able to meet them a few times. It's just been really fun. Jean was just saying it's so nice to see faces of the ones that are usually in the chats.
Yeah.
And really, We invited Amanda and Rebecca here because they are both really involved in the community, and we just so appreciate that. And yeah, and I love what you're saying that, Jean. It's so true because they need to start doing names. So we need to do this more and get people on. I think that's so fun.
Yeah, and Emma's saying she loved Kickstart but couldn't do the last day. You guys have until September 30th to watch the replays. So be sure to check your email because the replay links were sent to you, and you can still watch those until September 30th. So, well, how about if these faces that are usually in the chat, how about Amanda and Rebecca, if you guys introduce yourselves? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Go ahead,
Who
Amanda.
wants to start?
I know who's going first.
Hi, I am Amanda Bach. I am a demonstrator. I am not part of Karen's team, but I wish I was. But I greatly appreciate the fact that Karen has just created this amazing community with the Back Porch Stampers and with the All Goods Cards Club. So I just enjoy watching all the videos and participating, and it's a lot of fun to get to know people.
Yep. And where are you from, Amanda?
Central Illinois, Chillicothe, little tiny town.
Right near where I used to live in Lake.
Yes, across the river.
Rebecca, how about you?
I'm Rebecca, and Tim calls me Becky Lynn because I told them the story that I don't like the name Becky, but my sister calls me Becca Lynn, and he is convinced that he is going to get me to like that name Becky. And so far I have to admit it's kind of working. It's kind of working, especially when it comes from Tim.
Yeah.
But I came across Karen accidentally one day when I was Facebook surfing. I go on every day. I'm from Rice Lake, Wisconsin, by the way. Was surfing and I saw her, so I stopped. And I had started stamping like in '86. And that back in the day, that's when we stamped, and then you just used markers or colored pencils to color your images in. There wasn't all the fancy folds and all that. And I gave it up because 2 little kids, the cost, and just ran out of ideas. And I watched Karen and I'm hooked. She's showing all these fun ideas. They're much easier than they appear. And my sister's the one that got me started in stamping. And then when I ran across Karen, I told LeVar about Karen. And because my sister LeVar had finally kind of gave up stamping too, but now she's in it full force because of me. So we've come full circle.
So I see a comment from Beverly saying you're already in the All Good Cards Club. No, you aren't re-signing. If you're already in, you're in. This is just to introduce people that aren't members at the moment. So no, you're all good. This is just a little thing for people to ask questions. So awesome.
Yep. Okay, Amanda, Jean says your background looks very organized. So
I try. That way I know what I have. If I'm not, I don't know what I have.
Are you organized in life?
No, you should see. So I teach piano and voice lessons. My music studio room is just a hot mess. But I thrive in the chaos of the creativity. I just need a little mess every once in a while, and that's my room to be messy.
Rebecca, do you thrive in chaos?
No.
I knew that.
No.
Don't you love that we're all different? I mean, I just...
my mom always says she kind of gives me a hard time because I'm so organized and I have certain days that I do certain tasks, or like Tuesday's laundry day, blah blah blah. And I'm like, but Mom, if I keep it organized, then I have more free time, and I can come play in my stamp room. But and I mean, let's face it, we all have chaotic days, and today was one of them. But I prefer organization.
Oh, that's
and
great.
My mom and my sister are the polar opposites, by the way. They thrive in chaos.
Yeah.
My stamp area is pretty organized, but everything else, no, not at all.
Right. Same here. Well, I mean, yeah, it's all.
What I find interesting is that a lot of people would say they're fairly organized, but not in their stamp room. So, I mean, that's an interesting to have that focus, be organized.
Yeah.
See, I'm impressed. I my stamp room is my whole house. So, yeah, and I'm not organized. So, it is what it is.
I'm far more organized in my life than I am in my craft room. So.
Well, sometimes I get a little discombobulated in the craft room, but you know, that's life.
Joan said she lives in chaos. Jean says back in the day, she used easy coloring pages to get designs for scrapbooking. Oh, how fun to think back to that. I appreciate die cuts that we have today. How fun.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
And I love that we are bringing more scrapbooking back in too. So I think.
Yeah,
and Pam
absolutely.
says she always starts organized, but then it looks like a cyclone went through her craft space. Yeah.
That's how I like to say. I start with this much desk space, but as I craft, it gets smaller and smaller the longer I'm sitting here crafting.
Right?
So
wait till I start making Christmas cards. It'll be a disaster
Exactly.
in here.
I also find for me, if I'm working, like right now I'm working on the next All Good Cards Club. So I need it all spread out because as I walk by, I'll think of something. So I like, it's not like I'm sitting there thinking all day, but I need to have it be sitting there. At least that's what I tell myself. Because then I can come back and I can kind of look at something differently, if that makes sense. So I just have out what I'm working on, but that tends to fill up all my space.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the real quick question, I'm going to come back to Amanda here in just a second, but for those who are asking, I saw a comment for team members of ours. You do not need to sign up. So it's a perk that we give to you as a team member. So you don't have to worry about that. But Amanda, I'd love to hear something that can you tell us just a little bit about why you like All Good Cards Club or why you think somebody should join us?
Sure. I actually came up with 4 good reasons, I think. It challenges me to use my stash. And as you can see, I have so much paper, I will never use it in my lifetime. And it gets me thinking, you know what? Use it. Why is it sitting there? You know, Karen uses a lot of paper, DSP in her designs, and it's got me using way more designer series paper. So I appreciate that instead of it just sitting on the shelf. And I do what you guys say. I try to use an older one that maybe I'm not in love with first, just in case I don't like it. And then, you know, I've used it. And if usually I like it, then I pass it on. Yep. And it gets me thinking about using different papers differently. Like I try to start my Christmas cards in July generally. And so I might create one like Karen's doing, but then I might pull out some Christmas paper, and it just challenges me to use my stuff, which I
So
really
you're saying
appreciate.
you're making a variety of Christmas things. You'll pull out some and then another. Yeah. So you'll make a few of one kind and then another.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I make about 350. So it's, you know, I like, there might be like 4 of each that I make, and
cool.
It's what I do. The huge reason for me is the community. Karen has created such a wonderful community in the Back Porch Stampers, but I feel like the All Good Cards Club, it just kicks it up another notch. Of you see the same faces, or not see them, but you see their names, and you get to know them to some degree. And I really like that we're all sitting here doing the same thing at the same time. I don't know. There's something about that's just really special.
Well, and I'm gonna pipe in here for just a second, because with adding mystery stamping on Zoom, we're going to give you the opportunity to start seeing the faces of the names that you're always interacting with. So that's also part of why we switched it up to start one thing on Zoom. So
I like that. Sometimes Karen teaches me a new technique, or I remember one I haven't done for years, which is always nice to remember something. But I think the most important thing for me personally is it's time for me. It's 3 sessions once a month that I give to myself to create and be creative and sit here and enjoy myself for 3 sessions. And it's my me time. So I think everybody needs some me time, and that one it's focused, and I know what I'm doing, and I just love it. So thank you, Karen.
Nice. Yes.
I'd like to add that Amanda is one of those people that is known as a card giver. Everyone in the All Good Cards Clubs know that. I mean, I just, that is such a gift that we can choose to give the world. Those of us that like to make a lot of cards and send them. And I know postage is going up, but I don't resent putting money on that, because in my feeling, 1 in 20 cards, it might be, is just going to mean so extra special much to that person to hit them on the right day. And I don't know which card that's going to be. You know, some of us have been on the receiving end of that. So for me, I just love, the idea of being known as a card sender. I think is a pretty incredible way to be known, Amanda. So I thank you
It's
for
a lot
that.
of fun.
Awesome.
It's
And I'm
wonderful.
seeing in the comments that multiple people have received cards from Amanda.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
See, it's just funny. And and then you feel like you know her. When my mom was all those times in the nursing home, she felt like she got to know people that sent her regular cards. You say, "Oh yeah, that's who," and we talk about what state they're from. And she felt like they were my friends, but she knew them through me, and they cared about her. And I just think the names that would come up regularly, they felt like, oh yeah, I know her. And it's just so fun to hear my 99-year-old mom say, oh yeah, I know her, when
Like
her world
Vesta.
was so small, and to feel like, oh, she has this friend in Colorado, Vesta, who's sending her,
Vesta.
yeah.
and
Which I got to meet her a few weeks ago. So that was
fun.
like super special because of you. I got to meet Vesta. So that was really cool.
And there's another card. So we have several other card makers. But I also want to say, you don't have to be like the card sender to be in the group either. I love that this is a group where we all can use whatever our gifts are. And it's totally fine if you just like being a lurker and absorbing all this. You can still feel like that's part of your community. It is really, but I love just pointing out that we all kind of have our own special things that we're known for, and how we live our lives and getting to know each other is just such an inspiration to all of us. So thank you.
Definitely. I love those reasons. And somebody else, Patty, said it's her me time, the creativity camp. So it's just a great time to set apart each month, knowing that you can,
Yes, I loved how Amanda said that too, to just take that time for yourself. And I think, I've said before, this is a way of gifting ourselves to be in community. It'd make a great gift to give somebody else a month or two of this, just to have them try it, come into community with you as I think about this, what we have to offer. But I love that idea of setting aside time, and you're in community, so you have an idea of what you're going to work on. So it's not like you have to sit there and think of something from scratch. You kind of have a sense of direction, and yet you're going to be really creative and do your own thing. And then you're going to see what everybody else is doing. So it's very fun.
Yeah. And with things happening like each month, we're looking at roughly first and third Tuesdays. So sometimes that's going to change, and we're going to give you plenty of notice on class dates. But if you're looking for when you might be able to set aside me time, we're aiming, we'll always be on Tuesdays, but we're trying for like first and third when we can.
You always get the replays, and the PDFs are up there for, so you can download those. And
yeah, definitely. Well, Rebecca, how about you? What do you love about being an All Good Cards Club, and why should somebody join?
Well, they should join not only to learn all the new techniques, or several times Karen has brought up techniques that I haven't done since probably the 90s. And it's like, oh, I forgot about that one. Okay. And now I'm having fun with it again. So there's just the learning process. But like Amanda said too, it's the community. I've made so many friends through this community, and if for example, I came across remember the camper that we had not too long ago, and Blondie here forgot to order it before it was done. And so one of the gals on All Goods Cards Club, Sherry, all of a sudden in the mail, I get a pack with a whole bunch of campers. I mean, how sweet was that? And she said, how fun. She said, have fun creating, it's just, so it's that,
those are those thoughtful little things that just make such a difference.
Yeah. That and the me time. I love the me time. And hubby retired in July. So I have discovered that probably half of this country is going to get a card out of the blue, because when I need me time, I'm headed straight to my stamp room, and there's going to be a whole lot of card making going on.
And I'm going to add to that, if you're an All Good Cards Club, Rebecca, comments like that, which we just love. She just brings a whole lot of fun to the group. I just love it, because I love all the I love.
Well, you can send birthday cards.
Call them, but I just totally love that.
I was going to say that just means you start sending birthday cards, but now you got to send half birthday cards. So that way you have twice as many cards you can send. Right?
And there's going to be a whole lot of windshields in town that have it random note on their windshield.
Yeah.
I like to do that. Like when we do a card that's easy to make, that you can make multiples of, I'll sit and I'll do that, and I'll use up a bunch of my DSP, which I have beyond hordes of. But then if I'm going I'll just keep some in my car. And I don't know, if somebody looks like they're maybe struggling when they go in the store, before I go in, I'll go stick a card on their windshield. Well, why not?
Fun. How fun.
What a
and
great
now
way to brighten someone's day.
Yeah, and our city now has started putting up almost all the businesses reserve parking places for our veterans. So I I like to make veterans cards, thank you cards for them, and stick them in their windshields. It's just, it's a little thing.
Yes.
It's just the little things.
I love what Susan's just saying. She says, this refreshes her skills and teaches new, which is, I feel part of something bigger and yet just as much a part of the whole. And I think
yes,
that's just a good definition of a description of community and living our lives together and how much we mean to each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and like Barbara's saying, shut-ins really appreciate cards.
Yep.
I think when people tell me they have no idea who to send to, I said, think of in your neighborhood who's kind of shut in, or if you go to a church or another community group, think of the people that are shut in and aren't making there. If you sent them a card monthly, that would just be so amazing. So
nice. Another fun thing, well, I shouldn't say fun, but another thing I like to do is, so if somebody has lost somebody, an acquaintance or a family member, a lot of times, let's be honest, after the funeral and everything is done, everybody goes about their lives. So in a month or two post-funeral, I like to just send them a thinking of you card and letting them know that just because the events have ended, I'm still thinking of you and letting you know that you're still in my prayers.
And you're still thinking about the person they lost too. That is so meaningful. I love that. I think, we kind of sometimes have this expectation when grieving ends, and I think, and it doesn't. And along with that, people have told me if they've gotten something from someone on the 1-year anniversary of somebody's death, because you're feeling it yourself, but that doesn't mean the world is. They've moved on and they kind of think you should have moved on. And that's not the way it is.
No, so, it's not always easy to move on.
Yeah. So
well, and I guess I would definitely speak to that. Like, I know that when my mom died, we received quite a few cards. But the ones that really stick out to me are the ones that we got on the 1-year anniversary. Because, we were kind of inundated and in the thick of the grief when it happened. But 1 year later, it was so nice that somebody remembered. And so, if we can make notes to ourselves, to send that a year later, I think it really does make an impact for people. That's a great idea.
See, and there's another example of why I love All Good Cards Club, because now Holly just put a new idea in me to not only do it a month or two later, but do it a year later. So see,
and I think it's the stories. Just in hearing this, I think, 'cause that's the other thing we want more. We love the conversation. So the other thing, usually there'll be something on Tuesdays. Sometimes it'll be a question. We thought in a more intimate group, because we're smaller, you're really going to get to know somebody's life by the ones that respond. To the comments, but I think stories inspire us, and stories of cards. We just have that in common. I love stories.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yep. Me too.
Do you have any questions from anyone? Oh, Elaine says, I totally understand. My husband retired in June and I lived for my stamp club days. And that's kind of a shared idea.
We'll have to get together, Elaine.
Pam said she's looking forward to joining us because she needs encouragement, community, and me time. And
love it.
You'll get a lot of that in All Good Cards Club.
A great description right there.
We're the perfect club for it.
Absolutely.
And we could not do this without you guys. This is a community thing. And I guess we just feel more and more that that's really what we want to emphasize. It's what we want to promote. It's what we value. It's what we just love you guys. And we just care about this. Did you see that we have people from 46 states, is it Holly? And 5 countries.
In 5 countries. Yeah.
In All Good Cards
awesome.
Club. To feel like this worldwide community. I just thought that just gives me chills too. Do you think I could take a work trip to no?
Oh, yeah, only if you bring me
abroad to see one person. No.
I want to go visit the person in Italy.
Okay. We'll just But I just love that we have this together. So
Yeah.
we just appreciate you guys. And thank you so
Yeah.
much. Both
Yeah,
of
Well,
you.
we just want to
Thank
say
you.
we have 4 days left that you can join All Good Cards Club, and we have a last chance special. So if you join in the next 4 days, you'll get a special PDF of tutorials from us to give you some more ideas for your card making as well. So
If you're already in,
Um,
you get it too. It goes to everybody.
yes,
It's just
Yes,
that is
it goes to everybody.
and we're
Oh,
doing this on
someone's-
purpose just to just so that you guys understand that. So we're just going to open like 3 times a year so that in between we can just focus on kind of the club. And so you know, we're still working this out. It's all a work in progress.
But
Well,
that's what's
somebody just
fun.
asked what states were missing. So
Oh yes.
in case you have
Oh.
crafting friends in these states,
Ooh.
Yeah.
I do.
we've got Mississippi, New York, Utah, and West Virginia.
Okay, we'll
that
send
we're
a
missing.
card to the first person in each of those states. That will be fun.
Awesome.
So, yep. And then we have a lot of countries we're missing. So, you know.
yeah. So that is very cool.
So-
What are the countries? Do you have the list?
The ones we have are Australia, Canada, Sweden, Norway, and Italy. And then we also have someone from the province of Guam.
Fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very fun. So
That's
welcome everyone.
So,
Yeah.
yes. And
That's
thank you so
cool.
much for joining us today and hearing some stories
Yeah.
inside the club. So,
Yes.
Amanda and Rebecca, thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
I
we
love
really-
your
Thank you.
ideas.
Thank you for
Thank you
inviting
for
me.
having us.
We
Yeah.
appreciate you
Yeah.
guys. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.